In this video, I'll summarize Open Up 7th grade Unit 4, Lesson 3, and we're going to revisit some proportional relationships. So once again, let's use constants of proportionality to solve more problems. You can say, okay. Our goals. First of all, I can use a table with 2 rows and 2 columns to find an unknown value in a proportional relationship, even when there are fractions. And then also, I can write an equation to represent a proportional relationship if there's a fractional constant of proportionality. So just taking what we knew and combining it with a little bit more fraction work. So if I say Mrs. Schoberg runs 2¼ miles in 2/5 of an hour, and I want you to figure out how long will it take me to run 7 miles at this rate. Okay. There's a lot of different strategies to do this, but one thing that you may want to do is try to set up a table. So you could put in information that you know. In my run, I run 2¼ miles in 2/5 of an hour. And I'm trying to see how long it will take for 7 miles, so I'm going to line it up like this. All right, I want you to figure out what our constant of proportionality is. What do we multiply 2 1/4 by to get 2/5? And to do this, just like with any regular numbers, we can divide 2/5 by 2 1/4. I wanted to review a little bit with mixed numbers. So remember, when you're doing mixed numbers, you want to change it into an improper fraction. So we can change 2 1/4 to 9/4. If you recall, you might want to do 4 times 2 to get there. There's 8/4 and 2 wholes plus the 1/4. Some people just do it like that and say 9/4 as a shortcut. And when we have 2/5 divided by 9/4, that's the same thing as 2/5 multiplied by the reciprocal of 9/4, which is 4/9. And just like any fraction, I can multiply straight across. So 2 times 4 is 8, 5 times 9 is 45. It looks like my constant of proportionality is 8/45. So to solve this problem, I can multiply 7 by 8/45. And when we're multiplying fractions, we can put 7 over 1 and multiply straight across. So we get 56 over 45, and that's 1 11/45, and my label is hours. So if I want to run 7 miles, it would probably take me 1 11/45 hours, assuming I could keep up the pace that I started with. All right, same problem. I run 2 1/4 miles in 2/5 of an hour, but I want you to just write an equation to represent the relationship between d miles and t hours. You might want to look back to see your table, but this time instead of 7, it might make sense to change that miles to d miles. And notice we always multiplied by that constant of proportionality. And our constant of proportionality was 8/45. So if we multiply d by 8/45, we're going to write 8/45 d. So I might write an equation that says t, my time for hours, equals 8/45 d. And it may be also logical for you to write this with a d equals equation. And remember, you're going to do the reciprocal, so d equals 45/8 t. Right, so again, we're looking at similar topics to what we did in Unit 2 when we dealt with proportionality, but this time we just have to get good with our fraction work.